as of January 1st, this will happen unless Congress takes action, because Congress did leave Washington. Most people are out campaigning for re-election without moving on this Bush administration tax cut issue, and those reductions basically would give a break to every American who pays taxes, and they are going to expire once again December 31st unless something happens. Here to debate the merits of whether or not to, keep these tax breaks going, Congressman Duncan D. Hunter from Alpine and Congressman Bob Filner of San Diego. Republican, Democrat, and good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming in on this Friday. We do appreciate it. First of all, I want to ask you, the first premise that we said, and that is, a lot of people think maybe you should be back in Washington working the country's business as opposed to out campaigning for re-election.
We have to. That's part of the job, is campaigning for re-election, and we will meet again after the election. I think you, by the way, you mischaracterized, Dan, this whole debate, because what the Democrats stand for is continuing those tax cuts for 98% of America's population. But the Republicans stopped us from acting before we left, because they're shilling for the 2% of the wealthiest Americans that I think are not paying their fair share and who get hundreds of thousands of dollars of tax breaks in this thing. So the Republicans are holding the middle class hostage to their friends who are very, very wealthy. So we are trying to
you're the majority party. How could they be holding you hostage?
Because one guy in the Senate can hold everything up. Because of the way it's characterized with your tax hike showdown, even some of the Democrats are shying, didn't want to try to have a vote on it.
Yeah,
we will pass during the week of November 15th. We will pass the extension of tax cuts for 98% of American citizens.
All right. Duncan D. Hunter, good morning to you as well. And we've got a couple of things. First of all, if you don't act at all, these tax increases are going to go up for everybody.
Yep.
Number one. Number two, Bob, 35 Democrats, I think that was the last number, sent a letter to Nancy Pelosi saying, let's go for all of the tax breaks.
Then you had about 40 Democrats like Bob write the opposite letter saying, we cannot have these the Bush tax cuts extended. Now,
we were 98%.
Well, Bob, let me ask you this. We hear all the time.
You cannot keep characterizing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do mind.
Okay, so here's what happens. Politicians come on television, and we all say things like, hold the middle class hostage. I'll tell you exactly what is going to happen to the 52nd district, to my district. We're going to lose 1,500 jobs annually. We already have these statistics. If these tax cuts do not get extended, we're going to lose 1,505 jobs on average annually in the 52nd district. Alpine, Poway, El Cajon, Santee, Lakeside, Spring Valley. Each family is going to lose on the average $6,000 of disposable income annually, and it's a total tax in my district of over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Now those aren't platitudes. Those aren't saying we're holding the middle class hostage. Those are facts.
But
in a recession,
are you going to vote?
There is no reason.
Are you going to vote for the extension of the tax cuts for the middle class?
Yes, Bob, I am.
Yeah, but
I'm going to vote for tax cuts for everybody, because somebody that owns three.
But your party,
Bob, let me finish.
Your
somebody
party is
who owns
insisting that we include the top 1% of the American people.
Somebody that owns 3 dry cleaners or 3 liquor stores grosses over $250,000. That's what they gross. They're considered rich. Okay, they net about $80,000 a year, which is barely enough to live in San Diego. People who gross from their business $250,000. That's his top 1%. That's somebody that owns 3 liquor stores.
Yeah. Duncan is
we need to create jobs and quit taxes.
Is wrong here. That is the amount of small businesses are affected by 1 or 2% of the people of small business. But Duncan, I know
2.4% actually is the number. 2.4% is just under 1 million businesses nationwide.
I know that you will join me in exempting small business from this from the wealthy few that we're trying to say that should pay their fair share.
I'll be happy to help you exempt
so you're going to help me exempt small business
Obamacare
and vote. You're going to help me exempt small business, and then you could stop holding hostage 98% of the American people for their tax cuts.
These are all platitudes. This means nothing, Bob. I have actual stats if you don't extend
I want you
the
to
Bush
join
tax
me.
cuts, we're going to lose more jobs
Then join me.
because Bob and his party are systematically destroying the American economy.
Join me in exempting 98%.
Well, I'll tell you what. In January, you can join me because Republicans will be in power.
Congressman, do you not believe at all that some of these people are small businesses and that small business could be hurt by by increasing their taxes? And at a time when the economy is at the worst since it's been in the 1930s, you want to tax people?
It's 1 or 2% of all small businesses. But I just offered to
exempt small businesses.
Let's get stop hiding. What they're doing is hiding behind a few small businesses that may be affected, and I say exempt them. They're hiding behind it to say that 98% of our population can't get the tax cut. They stopped it from going through.
Why would you want to penalize? Why would you want to penalize somebody for being successful? I think that's another argument.
It's a question of in a time of war at a time as Duncan will tell you, great increasing national debt, that we're going to lose about $1 trillion over the next 5 years if we reinstate those tax cuts for the very wealthy. They're getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax cuts. They're not paying their fair share, and they ought to.
This is about jobs. This isn't about war. This isn't about $1 trillion. This is about jobs. Bob has been a rubber stamp for the Obama administration. They've been killing jobs. We have lost in this state, just in California, over 500,000 jobs since the stimulus plan went into effect. This is about jobs. If these tax increases go through on January 1st, yes, yeah, I'd be happy to reject it.
Did you reject it from your district?
Bob, I don't know.
School districts
I don't know of any stimulus plan.
Which got teachers hired.
Where are these jobs at? That's my question. With these tax cuts down to are jobs. In my district, just in my district, 1,500 jobs a year if these tax cuts don't get extended. They have to be extended.
Let me ask both of you this. During this time where we're not doing anything about this, where you're all out campaigning for your offices, businesses and people are left in limbo. Yeah. And they're sitting there saying, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? Can I hire more people? Can I go buy that car? Can I go do these things?
Democrats were prepared to move.
Republicans tried to stay back there. Republicans voted not to adjourn, to stay back there with about 45 Democrats. About 45 Democrats wanted to stay back in D.C. to get these tax cuts passed. What we got to do, because every business is also looking at the Obamacare. They're looking at this saying, can we hire somebody? Can we provide health insurance, tax increases? We aren't going to invest. We're not going to buy assets. We're not going to sell things off right now because we don't know how we're going to get hit next year. Chaos is ruining this economy. We need to tell people, hey, we're not going to hurt you anymore. And that's what Republicans are here to do. We're not going to hurt business. We promise that. You know, if you vote Republican, there will be more jobs.
You know, apparently Duncan hasn't read the healthcare reform bill, but the small business.
I actually have.
Small businesses will have a
50%. Bill,
small businesses will have a 50% tax credit if they want to provide health care to their employees. So this is the healthcare reform was a very small was a nice break for the small business, but you know. I would like to see Congressman Hunter and his colleagues try to repeal an act that, in my district, I got 140,000 people who are uninsured. After this bill takes full effect, 130,000 of them will be insured. That's an incredible thing.
So it plays well for some.
And I want him to repeal the fact that you know, infants and older people who have pre-existing conditions cannot get health insurance. You want to repeal the fact that we've taken away that prohibition? You want to take away the fact that we've given a 50% rebate to seniors for their prescription drug? If you want to repeal that, make my day.
You cut Medicare, Bob. You didn't give money back to seniors. You cut Medicare. Here's what the healthcare bill is doing.
Once more, platitudes, Duncan. If I can quote you, that's platitudes.
It comes down to jobs.
Hey, you know what we're going to do?
Bob is killing jobs.
Can we continue this conversation in a minute? Stick around. For a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back.
What happened to your ratings, Dan?
Well, it seems pretty fun to me.